So this is getting really interesting. It looks like Dungeons and Dragons is going to launch its own Critical Role competitor.
I'm surprised it took them this long.
They're going to do what Critical Role does. They're going to do it in-house. And this is after Critical Role kind of stuck it to them by creating their own system, right? Competing system, and actually swiped some of the people from Wizards of the Coast to work on that system. So this is a very, very interesting turn of events here. We're going to take a look and see if we can figure out what's going on.
Well, what's also interesting to me too, though, is they're going to put it on YouTube.
Yes, they are. Are people actually going to watch this? I'm going to be honest here. Yeah. Critical Role and Dimension 20 were popular. They're still fairly popular, but they're not nearly as popular as they were 10 years ago.
Right. I think it's just a little bit too late. Like, well, yeah. Way past too late.
And the Dungeons and Dragons brand right now is in the gutter with a lot of fans. Even people who loved Wizards of the Coast because of the OGL stuff, people are moving on to other systems. They're playing OSR. They're going back to the older systems, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I know before you talked about the fact that there were DnD YouTubers and they were switching gears because they weren't getting any views because nobody cared.
Yeah, that actually is something that's happening pretty regularly. A lot of the YouTube channels that cover Dungeons and Dragons, like the actual game of Dungeons and Dragons, not the actual play, Hollywood actual plays or whatever, but actual D&D channels that did blow up with the increased popularity of D&D in the 2010s. They're dying. Like they're dying. Nobody's watching this stuff. I think people have just checked out from the brand completely. So, maybe this is their attempt to try to resuscitate it. I do know that they have new leadership at WotC with Dungeons and Dragons. We have, Luke Gygax involved now. I think they're trying to win the old school fans back, but I don't know if doing a Critical Role is going to do that. I'm going to be honest.
I don't either.
So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this is the episode where we talk about this Critical Role competitor from Dungeons and Dragons, which was bound to happen because they honestly I think WotC thought they had Matt Mercer and friends in their back pocket, and then they turn around and they're like making their own Amazon shows and they're making their own system, and they're like, well, that didn't go the way we expected it to go.
And well, let's just be honest here. D&D has kind of gone down the shitter because they've been chasing the wrong type of people. And now you have one faction over there that seems to want to walk it back and wants to bring back other creators that used to be part of it, artists, try to bring back the old fans. And then you have another group that apparently just wants to copy what all their competitors are doing to try to appeal to that audience that isn't a great audience to begin with. And so I don't think it's going to work for them, especially it's too many years too late. It's on YouTube. So it's free, but I don't think it's going to be popular. And it doesn't have like the characters, the actors, the people that are on Critical Role. It's going to be a bunch of new people that no one knows.
Well, yeah, some of these people, I guess they were voice actors. We'll talk about who they are from Baldur's Gate. But it's the D&D, like, look, I mean, I will give them props for trying it, but I'm also like, this looks kind of skeezy, like you're
gonna play at the coffee shop.
God, I hope not. I hope if they're gonna do this, right, the best thing you can do is go back to like actual Dungeons and Dragons and kicking the shit out of monsters.
Best thing you can do is not do it at all. But
if you've got to do it, right, if you feel like you have to do it for brand reasons or whatever, but I can tell you right now. I'm looking at the lineup and I'm like, okay, we've got more women than men. And
we had to have diverse dudes.
Not to be that guy, but look, I'm going to be that guy. The tradition, if you're looking to win back the grognards, the traditional audience for D&D. And now women have always played, women have always been involved in the hobby, but it's kind of like comics where it was disproportionately skewed male. It wasn't a 50-50 split. It was like you'd have one girl per table, if you're lucky.
I want to point out, I think this is like the two factions thing. Like they're trying to win back the old players, like for the books and things, but then they still are trying to appeal to those fans of Critical Role that have come over and ruined the hobby. And so this show is going to try to compete with Critical Role. So they're going to go after those people.
And
so yeah, they're doing two different things. Like they're trying to play Go, but in a bad way.
I honestly look. I'm gonna be real here. If you want to chase a different audience, like a more modern Tumblr or whatever audience with a game system, I would actually create a new D20 system that's just that. That's just the LARPing and just the cosplay aspect of it and the OC generator and the coffee shops and the whole that audience that you lean more into the actual role play acting theater kid aspect of it. I would call it something besides Dungeons and Dragons.
But you know what they're doing? They're also probably doing this because it's on YouTube, so it's free.
Yeah.
And we have a group of people who were like wouldn't even want to buy dice because it was a couple bucks. So
I know, right?
You know, well, how are we going to monetize the people who aren't giving us money? Who they're buying one book and then sharing it amongst 30 people? Well, we'll just do this to hopefully get a lot of views, and we'll just get ad money. Plus, we can link our stuff in the videos for you to purchase. And they're just going to try to chase us. We can't get them to pay for shit, so we'll get them to pay us via ad money for free views.
Yeah, this is
it's not stupid, I guess, but it's not what I would do.
I don't know. I really think at this point they're just throwing spaghetti against the wall to try to salvage D&D because people, I mean, tabletop games are incredibly popular still, and people are gaming still. They're just not buying the new stuff. They definitely didn't buy 5.5 or 6 or whatever the hell it was that came out in 2024, and they're already trying to get feedback for the next version of it. But I think that ship has sailed. I think people have moved on to other systems, especially after the OGL thing. And, the Tumblr audience, that audience, they move on to whatever the next shiny thing is. Mm-hmm. And they're out there, bitching about not enough representation in cartoons or whatever now, not D&D. Anyway, it's coming from Variety. Let's see what's going on. Dungeons and Dragons maker launches official actual play show amid growing popularity of Critical Role and Dimension 20 exclusive. Wizards of the Coast is putting their trademarked D back in DMing. They might be taking the D back in DMing with the launch of a new Dungeons and Dragons actual play TV series, launching with its first 2 episodes on April 22nd. The new show, titled Dungeon Masters, starts. Okay, so it's got somebody from Dimension 20. Okay. Jasmine Bueller is a dungeon master. I don't watch Dimension 20. So I mean, people are like, oh, they're pretty good.
I don't watch any of this stuff.
I don't watch it. So players Mayana Baron, Dispatch Story Quest, Christian Navarre, 13 Reasons Why, Forgotten Realms, Tears of Saloon, Neil Newbon, Baldur's Gate 3, and Devora Wild, Baldur's Gate 3. So they do have Baldur's Gate actors in. I guess that brings.
That's because you're a voice actor doesn't mean that. Anyway, why? Because Matt Mercer was a voice actor.
Yeah. So there's a history. So this is the thing. Like, I know people talk about the Matt Mercer effect, and people don't like what Critical Role has done to Dungeons and Dragons. I don't like what Critical Role has done to Dungeons and Dragons. Matt Mercer himself is actually a pretty decent guy. We met him. We talked to him. I think he's a legit nerd. I think he's really in this stuff. Critical Role started because it was just him and a bunch of his friends wanting to play, and they did it for kind of shits and giggles, and then it blew up into this big thing. But this is actually, they're looking at this from like a business angle, right?
That's what I'm saying. They're going to ruin it right from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same thing. It's just like, hey there, fellow kids, you're taking our money. We're here to get it back.
For the uninitiated, an actual play show features people who are really playing D&D or another tabletop role-playing game. The format has become widely popularized through Critical Role and Dimension 20, both of which focus on D&D style game mechanics, but without using the official products or licensing. Interesting. So they're pivoting, I know, but Wizard says Dungeon Masters is meant to appeal to it's meant to appeal to a wide audience of D&D veterans, newcomers, and everyone in between.
No, it's not going to. It's going to be the newcomers and the people that have started in the last few years. That this is what they watch. You're going off the audience to watch Critical Role. Most of the veterans are so tired of the shit. They're not going to watch it.
Oh no. Okay, this is like all the corporate talking points.
Was I right? Like they're having two factions. On one hand, out of one side of their face, they're saying we want the old school people back, and on the other side, they're going to be like, let's find out a way to make money off the freeloaders.
Just wait. We have to court an existing audience. When we look at how Baldur's Gate 3 and Stranger Things and the D&D movie expanded the fandom and the number of people in the hobby as a whole, I know my goal coming into this is the Dungeon Master coming into this, and to a certain extent, Wizard's goal coming into this is to expand this hobby we all love. Basically, we need more players. Like,
oh, you need players that pay. You have players.
You need players that pay.
Anything.
And this whole thing is going to be a drink your Ovaltine, like go sign up for D&D Beyond or whatever. That's what the whole thing.
No,
they're
going to link like products and stuff in the video.
Yep. Courting an audience outside of actual play is part of our goal. Episodes will drop weekly and showcase official unreleased D&D content and commercial. Crummy commercial. Which,
drink your Ovaltine.
Drink your Ovaltine, which will be available to play on online platform D&D Beyond directly following each episode. Digital.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh no. The show's first storyline will be a tie-in for Wizards' newly announced campaign product. I love how they said product. Ravenloft, The Horrors Within.
Yeah, can't wait to buy it when they refer to it as product.
Product. Consume the product. Eat the product. Boy, that product sure tastes good. Get Chris Cox on there to taste the product. Per Wizard's description for Dungeon Masters, the first campaign arc unfolds within the world of Ravenloft, which I love Ravenloft, but apparently wheelchairs can climb stairs now too or something. I don't know. Plunging viewers into a dark and atmospheric setting filled with mystery, suspense, and gothic horror. The players can only tease so much about the first campaign so far, but did give hints about their characters' motivations. So now they got there's their characters. This is very much just Critical Role. It is.
Well, what are the characters? I want to see their definitions of the characters. Hold on.
Let's see here. I'm playing a cleric. I'm playing a Grave Domain cleric, which is very spooky and interesting. Let's see here. I think it'll be safe to say that all of our characters have secrets and quite complicated backstories. This could be very interesting. I'm playing a Hex Blood Shadow Sorcerer elf with things that she's hiding from everybody. Okay, so this is kind of what I think divides the new players from the old players. The old players, we were playing a game, and 95% of the time, the backstory kind of came as we were playing the game. Mostly it was, okay, you're a fighter. Here's a short sword. We're dropping you into a dungeon. There's a slime and go. And you kind of filled in the blanks later. Sometimes I had people play before that they're just like, I just like to kill things. That's what I'm here for. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Kill things. All she wanted to do was kill her horse and eat it.
Yes.
It's true. Yeah, like, whatever. God. I'm gonna kill my horse and eat it. Am I wrong?
I tried to teach the kids how to play D&D. And
I was out because it's not my thing. Sorry.
So we bought the newer basic set. This was about 6 years ago, something like that. And this is before we went down the rabbit hole with the OSR stuff. And our daughter got bored as hell. So she's like, you know what? My horse, I'm going to kill it and eat it. I'm like, wait, what? I'm going to kill my horse and eat it. Yum, yum, yum. I'm like, oh my God. So that's, she was completely checked out because it's so damn boring. But no, now everybody's got this like complicated backstory. I'm like, this is theater kids LARPing. Like I said, you really, the best thing, Wizard, I mean this sincerely, Wizards, the best thing you could do if you want to keep two audiences happy is you're going to have to split the systems. You're going to have to do like New Coke and Coke Classic. You're going to have to do like Dungeons and Dragons and then, baristas and bulls or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be something else, I think, because
all I'm hearing is I'm playing Hexblood Shadow or Sorcerer Elf, and I'm thinking, who's on this spectrum? And then they're this part on this spectrum, and they're going to be over here with these identifiers and alphabet letters. That's all I'm thinking to myself. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, look, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm not attacking these people. I'm saying this is a very corporate thing, and it's a very, they definitely are looking at Critical Role, and,
they're trying to figure out how to monetize the people who aren't paying. And they're trying to figure out how to be Critical Role, because Critical Role must be cutting into their bottom line, is what they're trying to do. And they're saying that on one side of their face, and the other side of their face, they're telling all the old players to come back to the books because we're going to fix everything. So
yeah, they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Yes, and we're going to get new players, which we know what that means.
And there were rumors that there's some bad blood between Critical Role and Hasbro because basically Hasbro I think thought they owned Critical Role even though they didn't. And this is kind of what happens though with any sort of organic, I don't know if you can call it organic, but like fan based or unofficial thing is that eventually the company wants to take it over. they would have been smarter, I think, buying out Critical Role, than trying to start it from scratch. But, they became a competitor. So you always run that risk too, right? Like, because if people are following that particular show, they're going to follow those creators wherever they go. And if they're playing a different system, then that's what people are probably going to buy. And that is not making Hasbro very happy, because you're supposed to be Hasbro's bitch.
I don't think does anybody really care anymore, because they're like so over. They're so over everything the last few years. It's just ridiculous. And I think they're finding out that the audience they've courted don't pay for shit. So we got to find a way to get money out of them.
Yeah, it's amazing. Dungeons and Dragons was really popular in the 80s and 90s without all this stuff. But we just were like, yeah, it looks cool. On the box, there's a guy that's going to stab a dragon. I want to stab a dragon. I'm going to buy this game.
Yeah.
Now it's like there's a whole thing. Are we going to wrap it up?
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.